Hey YouTube, this is James the Bearded Baptist coming at you again. I hope y'all are having a blessed and beautiful day. I can just say where I'm at here in the great USA, it is a beautiful day out. Sun's out, the weatherman says it's going to be about 65. So I hope where y'all at, y'all are having a great day. I wanted to talk about something I seen on YouTube. Um, every year Jimmy Kimmel puts these things on about, parents tell your children that you ate all their candy. Well, I watched this one, the one he just put out, and I tell you what, that was some of the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen, basically, with the way these children started acting whenever their parents told them that they ate all their candy. I mean, for these kids to act like that is inexcusable. And not only that, but the parents for letting that stuff to take place, to allowing them children to be that way. I mean, they act like that. Apparently, they're acting like that all the time. The old saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But that brings me to a scripture in Proverbs. Proverbs 13:24. He that spares his rod hates his son, but he that loves him chastises him or disciplines him. I mean, God's very clear on, that children should be disciplined. Uh, Children should be respectful and courteous and kind and polite to their elders, and then also to the kids around them. But in order for that child to know how to grow up properly and to do what's right in God's eyes, is the parents. They need to train their child up. I think over in Ephesians, let me just flip over here real quick. Ephesians, let's see, 6, 4. Let's see here. Now, Proverbs 6:4. It says, and you fathers provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Um, right there it says, that we as parents are supposed to bring our children up in the way of God. And the way we do that is, for one, we got to lead by example. And then when our kids get out of line and start being disrespectful, then it is our job as a parent to discipline that child, whether it be timeout. No, well, it says spare the rod. You got to whoop that backside. Trust me. That's the only way they're gonna understand that no means no and this and that. I mean, if you see your child touch a light socket, what are you gonna do? You're gonna smack their hand probably, because you know that if they were to actually get bit by electric, that it could kill them. So what do? You smack their hand. Well, there needs to be more of that done, because as I said, these children that I've seen, they were screaming and hollering and I hate you and this and that. I mean, just going off. And I put that back on the parents. That's the parents' fault. It's the parents' responsibility to make sure these children are disciplined. Because I tell you what, if these kids do not have respect for their mother and father, how are they going to have respect for anybody else in this world? Okay? The only thing they're going to have maybe respect for is themselves, and even at that, they don't have respect. I mean, if they can't be courteous and kind to mom and dad, they will not be to anybody else. Okay? And you can see that every day in society now. I mean, every single day. It's just, I mean, okay. When you go to like a restaurant or McDonald's or wherever, I mean, the people are never happy that are working there or around you most of the time. I mean, they're always got a glum look on their face, or sad, or it's always this or that. And standing in line, I hear a lot of the cashiers and stuff at these different restaurants talking. They're just yapping how they hate this, or this is so bad, or blah blah blah, always negative. But as I said, God says that we are to not spare the rod. And you know what? Another thing, that if we are God's children, God will discipline us too, because He loves us. And it's a good thing, because we, as Christians, need to be disciplined from time to time. We need to have our backsides paddled, taken out to the woodshed, because, our attitudes are a lot of times just like everybody else, just like the world's. Always hateful, negative, never uplifting. Um, but, it's a good thing to be disciplined. It's a good thing to discipline your children. Um, as I said, if they don't respect mom and dad, they're not going to respect nobody else. And, and they're not going to give reverence to God where it's due. Um, but yeah, these kids. And I also see it like at Walmart, and, you know, because they wanted something, mom and dad said no, and then they start throwing the biggest fit in the world. And what happens? Mom or dad just gives it to them real quick and gives in, just to get the kid to shut up. I'll tell you what, you smack them right there in front of everybody, and yeah, they'll cry for a moment, but so what? They'll learn. When I say no, or if mom says no, then that means no, and you don't throw a fit. You know, be happy with what you get and don't throw a fit. But as I said, you see that everywhere. And then these kids grow up. When they grow up, they're going to have the same attitude. I mean, look at the way a lot of big companies, and, not all, and not all employers, but man, they treat their employees bad. No respect, nothing. I mean, you get more with honey than vinegar. And if more people were polite, more employers were polite, their customer, or people would be more happier and uplifted. And not only that, but they won't accept Christ, or they could, but um, most of the time they won't, because by the time they get a certain age, teenage, adult years, most of them are self-absorbed, self-righteous attitudes. Give a flip about anything. I mean, they see a dead body on the ground, they just walk past. I've seen different videos and stuff like that where people just walk by like it's no big deal. And that's sad. You know, we're supposed to help those who are in need, and if you see somebody fall or stumble, we need to help them, pick them up. Um, but a few other passage it talks about discipline is Proverbs 22:6. Let's see here, Proverbs 22:6. Here we go. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Right there, God tells us as parents that we need to train our children, teach our children the ways of God. And if we know the ways of God, then we know how to treat others. We're supposed to love our brothers and sisters, our enemies, everybody. Love them, but not the sin. I mean, the sin we hate. And just like God, He hates the sin. That he can't come near Him. I mean, God is pure love and without fault. And it will not be in the presence of Him. And that's the attitude that we need to have a lot of times. You know, we're not going to have it in front of us. But train your child in the way they should go. And when they are old, they will not depart from it. Also, 22:15 says, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Foolishness. Yeah, you want to whoop it out of them. So that way when they're adults, they're not fools. But, that's what I want to talk about. I seen that on YouTube. As I said, it's actually heartbreaking in a way. That these parents allow these children to be this way. And that's why society is the way it is now. I mean, when you deny God, you basically deny self and embrace the world. And a lot of these psychiatrists nowadays will tell you, oh, don't whoop them or you'll hurt their little personality. Well, so what? At least they'll grow up with manners and respect instead of turning out to be, who knows, like a Columbine or something. Kids get upset because, their parents didn't get them a G.I. Joe with a Kung Fu grip. And they had this vent up rage about it or something. The main thing is they're spoiled. They weren't disciplined or raised or properly in the Lord. But that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. If you like the vids, please subscribe. I appreciate it. But, as I said, we need to first seek God in His direction, and He'll lead us in the way we should go. And then also we need to make sure that we train our children in the way that they should go. Train them or raise them. Teach them the ways of God. And discipline them when discipline is needed. And fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. And that's another thing that comes to mind. We as dads or parents shouldn't make our children angry. We shouldn't provoke them to wrath. But yeah, everybody, I hope everybody has a blessed day in the Lord. I pray and ask that, God blesses each and every one of these people, each and every one of y'all who watch this video. I hope that each and every one of y'all who profess to be Christians will go out today and tell somebody about Jesus Christ. Just like somebody told us, we need to go out and tell them. But, that's my prayer, and I ask that God opens that door for each and every one of us. I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed day, and be safe.